This is GT Time, and I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us, as always, is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, including Elise Willems in the Brandon Jones seat.
Feels good to be Brandon Jones.
Daniel Bloodworth.
Feels good to be Daniel Bloodworth.
In the super seat this week, Brad Ellis.
Hi.
And making this all possible, Ian Hink.
Yeah, hey.
Oh, man. Yeah.
He didn't have enough time to roll. He didn't have enough time to roll in the lowers.
The listeners probably hate this show. Like, listeners probably feel so left out. Ian puts our names and Twitter handles beneath our faces every time, and I just speak too fast, I guess.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
I don't know.
What I'll probably should do is just wait until later in the show and put them up when someone's actually talking.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what I'll do, because then there'll be more time.
And, you know, I like nothing more than when it's just like, Ian Hink, hi, you know, like right on top of it.
Yeah, hi.
You know what? Can we do that right now? Can we just for you? And making this all possible, Ian Hink.
Hi.
There we go. That feels good. That feels right. So let's just go straight into the show. Let's go straight into corrections. Ian, please begin corrections music. Okay, I got a bunch this week. Neil Armstrong didn't punch the reporter. Buzz Aldrin did. And it wasn't a reporter. It was just some guy who said the moon landing wasn't real. Okay, here's how the Assassin's Creed Unity stuff went down. The apology was for how glitchy it was. They gave away the first part of the DLC to everybody for free. And then so the people who already bought a season pass got a free whole game. One of 6 titles, including Far Cry 4, The Crew, Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Rayman Legends, and Just Dance 2015. So it's a little better than we thought it was. Majora's Mask uses many reused assets and is still great. Actually, we're going to get into that. So you're the one who started this conversation this week. Black Ops 2 is the one where you shift perspective to the bad guy at the end, and it's totally stupid. It's a guy who, like, betrays you.
I don't think it was at the end, though.
It's near the end. Not just the machete mission, but, like, toward the very end, you become, like, a general who's betraying you. Don't care spoiling it because it's a stupid story.
Is that the one with Avenged Sevenfold at the end?
That is that one.
God, that was stupid.
It's yeah. It's cool you remember that. In fact, on that note, none of us are sorry for spoiling Eris getting stabbed.
Right.
That is not an
The
apology.
statute of limitations is up on that one.
That's so up.
But you can't.
People got upset about that?
Yeah. And
who didn't know that?
I don't know. And it's I guess like young kids didn't grow up playing that game like everyone else.
They're never gonna play it.
But here's I guess I get this feeling. Well, they will when the remake
When
comes
the
out.
remake comes out, yeah.
But I get this feeling like it's sometimes spoilers will inhibit conversation, discussion. You know what I mean? And like that spoiler is not worth keeping a secret because it's a bigger deal than like what people get out of the story itself.
Cloud
you know what I mean?
also loses his mind, and the story
like-
goes insane the last half.
See, that I feel like is a spoiler.
Nah.
That's one of like the most well-known spoilers, though.
Yeah.
That's like,
Yeah.
hey, Darth
Like
Vader's
Mufasa dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
My
like,
God.
and it is like at the end of
Vader
Act
is
1, you know,
Luke's
it's
father.
like yeah. Exactly. Okay, and lastly, when you're playing Triforce Heroes with friends, everyone is in fact Link.
Yeah.
When you're playing it single player, it's you as Link and 2 dolls, but when we're playing it multiplayer, we're all Link.
Dolls?
Yep.
I hate
And
that.
the corrections music.
Okay.
I love how that ends. All right, everybody. Let's move on to our first story this week. Oh, this is a cool headline. Sega wants to be more like Atlus. Here's
That's
what
cool.
happened. The CEO and president of Sega, Naoki Satomi, was speaking to Famitsu, doing an interview. This is the primary quote we'll talk about. As far as the Western market goes, we learned a lot from Atlus. If we can make a title with proper quality, I believe there's a good chance for it to do well in the West for players that like to play Japanese games.
No duh.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a good game.
Yes.
Ben Moore is spinning in his grave
Yeah.
right now.
Well-
That's a novel idea. Make a good game that people want to play.
Yeah, and we should bring this up. Sega just bought Atlus recently. Sega bought Atlus and is learning things from this small company it bought. It's just like, oh, whoa, those games sell better than our bad games. What's going on here?
Well, you make good games?
Yeah. So is this an encouraging thing to hear? Blood, are you into this?
Yeah, I mean, it would be great. Because, I mean, some of the stuff, like Phantasy Star Online 2, that never came out here, right?
It never
It's
came out in the
just
US
stuck
still.
in Japan, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think there's this, this idea that is like, oh, a game's too Japanese. Like Yakuza. Like, people have had to fight for every one of those Yakuza games to come over. And it's like, if you put it out there and you make it good, then, yeah, people will play good games. People are not that put off by by Japanese culture. You just have to like really, I think you have to really play to your fan base really well, and also like respect them by when you have Sonic especially. It's you don't just shove it out there because the kids aren't going to notice the bugs. You've got generations and generations of Sonic fans to build on, and like you see with like Mario and Amiibo, if you can tap into that entire market, you can do a lot better than just putting out some kids shovelware.
Brad, when they're looking at Atlus, what is Atlus doing right that Sega's like, oh, we should do games more like this?
Releasing games that fans actually want and releasing quality games.
Yeah, what does Atlus
I bet they
do?
looked at like Persona and were like, whoa, this is huge. What are they doing? And they're like, hey, we're just taking our time with this game and releasing it when it's done. And they're blown away by that.
They do. He did talk a lot about that. He said that particularly like he feels like Western releases, they try to schedule them and just get them out once a year. They're going to try to stop doing that. And so that Atlus doesn't like push too hard on that, something like that. Is that why Persona 5 has been a secret for so long?
Probably. They can just do whatever they want kind of thing with that game.
Well, they've also done really well at kind of keeping cash flow going by, keeping the entire Persona series fresh, like on new platforms. Like putting Persona 4 Golden on Vita. Like a lot of people didn't play Persona 4 on the PS2 because of, transitioning to the PS3 or whatever, but they picked it up on Vita and word spread, and like all of a sudden, like the game was hot again,
Yeah. I think they've had like two very different trajectories. Like Atlus very pointedly wasn't trying to enter the North American market until maybe around like DS, PlayStation era, and then even then they've been super selective about what games they actually bring to North America. And like when you look at, their releases, you can see like on a grid, how many more games they're bringing to North America, and they're still super selective. And I think like franchises like Shin Megami Tensei have been like super influential in like establishing them. Persona too, but I still think Sega we just associate with like Altered Beast and Streets of Rage and sorry, did I say Sony or Sega?
You said Sega?
I meant Sega. Okay.
You meant Sega.
Like, maybe I said
Sega. Yeah,
I
you're
said
doing
maybe
good.
I said Sony. But yeah, Sega, it's just like we don't have a like contemporary perception of them as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think this is hot air? Do you think it's possible for Sega to like actually make good games that people like again?
I think like it's smart of them to look to Atlus, and I think also like Atlus too works with a lot of like other developers, and they're publishing, not like they're publishing a lot of games that we don't necessarily associate with Atlus as well, like Sherlock Holmes: Crimes and Punishments. Like,
Is that Atlus?
That's Frogware, and then I forget who else published it, but like Atlus co-published it, and you're
Did
like,
not know that.
no, but like they're dipping their hand in these other like games and properties, and I think like Sega needs to be kind of more that anonymous like benefactor where they're like, we're just gonna like dip our hands into these properties and see what you're excited about, and then kind of like try to learn from those relationships and partnerships.
Yeah, well, they've done really well with Creative Assembly and all the stuff that they're doing. Like
Alien.
the Alien and the Total War series, and it's kind of funny because it feels like Sega's biggest presence right now in the West is PC games.
Yeah. Western developed PC games.
Yeah.
And so, right, this is coming from Sega of Japan, and like it's like, so can Virtua Fighter be good again? You know what I mean? Can Panzer Dragoon exist today?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is like they've got to invest in that because I think that the people are there, the market is there, but people want to see good games. They want to see those games. I mean, the Saturn games? They're so hard to get. They're so rare. If you found a way to like put those out at like an appropriate quality and a good price point, then people would snap them up.
Are there undiscovered Saturn games that are excellent?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super familiar with the Saturn, but like when I look through the few Saturn games we have, like a lot of them, I don't even recognize that.
You know, the one I always think of is like that weird bug one.
Right?
Is his name just Bug?
And there's that firefighter one, right? That we checked out.
Burning Rangers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Sick
Knights on the
game.
Sega
Knights,
side
yeah.
is the best.
Ooh, I love this live research.
Yeah.
They tried to
What's the bug game you're thinking
revive
of?
Knights on Wii.
That did not work.
And
Yeah, it
but
didn't
like
help.
was that another thing where like they tried to bring the name back, but they didn't really do a great job making
Right.
a game?
Probably that's what it was.
Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah.
That game was never actually good though.
No,
You
that
can't
game's
make that
terrible.
game. You can't make that game now,
Afterburner.
though.
Don't make Echo the Dolphin. Don't do that.
There was a comment in the chat that Sega should be looking to Bando Namco. Did I say Bando Namco?
No, you
said
Bandai
Sony.
It's
It's
Said
okay.
Sony.
I
I
just
think-
like smashing names
At least
together.
I gotta say,
anyways.
you're real in your head this week. What's going on?
I can't talk
She's
today.
freaking out.
This week.
Why? What is because of Souls?
Didn't elaborate, but maybe Souls.
Okay.
That'd be a.
Didn't allow.
Yeah, because Bandai, I don't know, they're a weird example. Because they're kind of doing what Sega's been doing. You know, it's like they're putting out kind of like half-step games. That could do a lot better if they put more effort into them.
They put out the Souls games and then just a lot of crap,
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
So maybe Sega just needs like one good game and then just crap filler. Just fill that.
They just
crap
gotta do what they're
pile.
doing.
Sega.
but here's the
Throw sweet anime cutscenes into everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That used to work.
but here's the
Saturn?
thing.
Yeah,
Going back
absolutely.
to Atlus is, they do have a steady stream of smaller games that are still quality. Like all
Yeah.
the Etrian Odyssey and that kind of thing.
And then they'll pull out a weird rare gem like Catherine, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. So I think that's the thing is like you can have smaller games to keep your money flow going, but you still have to make good games.
They're probably setting better expectations of sales too. Alice, I'd say they probably are making these games and like, okay, if this sells 100 or even 50,000 units, we'll still make a profit on it.
Yeah.
And Song's like, well, we'll make a new Sega and it'll sell 3 million copies, and no one buys it.
Yeah, Brad, I actually totally think you're right. I think that is because Atlus does its like collector's editions as the normal editions of those games, and just like when you get a game, you get so much
Yeah.
with it. And I think that's right. I think they know
They please their fans.
they
Yeah.
know the
And
they
size
have
of their
loyal
audience
fans.
too. Yeah,
I
right.
think that's it. They really know their fans
Mm-hmm.
very well, and they know exactly what their market is going to be, so they can plan for that.
And it's just so cool for me to see the big boys, to see Sega say like, "Whoa, you know what? That little company we bought, they're doing it right."
Mm-hmm.
And because I think we all thought Sega would corrupt Atlus,
Yeah.
like when EA buys something, but instead like it was just felt like the opposite. It felt like
Kind of
this
let
is
them
actually
do their thing.
it's like bleeding through. It's not just letting them do
They're
their
learning.
thing. Yeah, they're like stretching into Sega. I'm excited for Sega's future after this interview. Is that
Hopefully.
wrong?
I just still associate Sega. Like, I mean, I guess the only thing they can do now is really publish for better developers than themselves.
No, they still got developers. They can still do Daytona.
Nobody wants Daytona. What we want is a good Sonic.
Yeah, if they
Yeah,
did
yeah,
a good
yeah.
Sonic
Yeah,
game,
make
that
a
would make
good
a lot of
Sonic.
people
Make
happy.
him fast again.
That's funny. We never really talked about a good Sonic this whole time. Like, is that even possible?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
think so?
Yeah.
2D fast.
No, they did 2D fast, and it was
No,
Sonic
they
4
did 2D
Episode 1.
slow. 4 was weird and slow, and the controls were bad. It felt muddy. It felt like you were running through sludge.
So if you need to like
It needs
revitalize,
that blast processing or whatever.
yeah, you need to revitalize Sonic. Look at Rayman Legends.
Yeah,
because they
dude.
did it.
Yeah,
Good point.
dude.
They did it.
Yeah, that's
that
fair.
art.
Sonic just needs to stop getting weird. And having
Actually, parts of
friends
Rayman are basically Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're
Absolutely.
fast. Those running levels,
Yeah.
they're fast.
Yeah.
They're hard.
So
Take
just
notes.
copy Rayman.
Take notes.
Yeah.
Copy Rayman.
Copy Rayman's copy of your
Yeah.
game.
Also, check out Tropical Freeze, another great game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But another thing with Rayman is like Rayman doesn't get all hung up on its story. Like Sonic has been so hung up on these weird story things that never really connect to anybody.
Dude, you're right.
Yeah, no one
So, like,
cares.
get rid of that crap.
You know I love Sonic Unleashed, but like it's about like
That's a bad game.
it's about this little furry fairy creature that is God. It created Earth. And so like that is what is at stake in this game.
No one wants to do that. They
Yeah,
just
I
want to
know.
run fast and eat
That's
chili
normal.
dogs.
Sorry, what Ian?
I was just saying that's normal. That's a little fuzzy guy. That's normal.
It's normal for Sonic. Cool. All right, yeah, we can move on. I'm super pumped. We got to talk some betas. Let's do beta talk. A lot of exclusive betas going on. Here's what's happening. On August 19th, the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 beta will begin exclusively on PS4. And then on July 23rd, the Street Fighter V beta will begin exclusively on PS4 to those who have pre-ordered.
Wait, you did August and then July?
Yeah.
He's just reading off the
So
sheet, man.
Street Fighter is first?
Street Fighter's
Right.
first.
Oh, the one that matters is first. That's cool.
Well, here's
Right.
the thing is, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 beta actually sounds insane. Since Modern Warfare, there haven't been betas for Call of Duty games. And so I want to talk about the panel about is, do you think this beta is like a promotional beta in the terms of just like, oh, our franchise is waning, we're not as popular as we used to be, let's get a beta to get people excited? Or do you think it's like Sony pressured them? Now that they have the Sony deal, Sony's like, hey, we want more exclusives, give us a beta to make exclusive.
Probably a little both, I'd say. Like, they know. Like, I wouldn't say it's going down, that series. It's just kind of plateaued. It's just kind of there right now.
We can say it's going down
But
sales-wise.
if you're like, we got... Yeah, I guess it's going down a little. It did better than, like, Ghost Zone and stuff like that, didn't it, or something?
Good question.
Yeah, Advanced Warfare, I think
Yeah.
it went back up a bit.
Got it.
But I think, yeah, I think this has got to be more for promotional sake, you know, just to get that buzz around the game again. And
Smart move.
because, you know, from, you know, what we saw Hubert play at E3, you know, they have made the games, you know, quite a bit different. And if they can get that early player base to kind of back that up, you know, they have a chance of getting people more interested. But I really don't think that, like, on a technical level, it's probably different enough to where, like, oh, we got to stress test servers. I mean, you've got the biggest
they got
stress
it
test
down.
with all the other Call of Duty games you have running right now.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they think this one will sell better. You're right. To me, it seems against the idea of a beta, which is to stress test, which is to see if all of this stuff will work. And they've never needed that before.
No.
At least, is this just a promo?
That's how I feel so skeptical because it's like, yeah, they might actually want to just test the functionality of their game, but you look at things like EA Access and stuff like that, and Sony doesn't have that many exclusives. Like, and then they have Until Dawn coming out in August. They've got, what else do they have coming out through the rest of the year?
Persona 5.
Persona 5. But having, you know, a exclusive beta, like, that gives them at least something that they can, like, tout to their fans and say, here's something for you.
I think it's that. Honestly, I do. I think this is I think they think this is a good get.
I wonder... Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say real quick that I think that maybe Call of Duty, my perception's always been that it's been a bigger Xbox franchise than a PlayStation franchise, so maybe PlayStation just wants to, like, win more of that market back or something, so they're doing this.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess we should set that up. Previously, Xbox has, I think since like 2008, had this exclusive DLC deal where the DLC drops first on Xbox. This is the first year
it's like
first
a
on,
month ahead.
Yeah, and this is the first year it's been first on PS4, first on Sony. And so, yeah, that's why I think this is part of that, why Sony has this exclusive beta, is part of that whole weird, however much money changes hands there. I don't like the taste of it, to be honest.
I just did a little survey of chat, and they pretty much overwhelmingly saying that no, they are not interested in playing this beta.
Well, look at this live
Then
feedback.
let's
This
talk
is fun.
about Street.
I
Yeah,
wonder,
so-
though,
so-
real
okay,
quick,
all
if
right, real
they
quick.
looked at Destiny, like, last year,
Yeah.
whenever it came out, and how a lot of people were kind of lukewarm on it, like,
Sure.
for me, instance. But then when the beta came out, a lot of people played it and were very excited about it.
Yeah.
I wonder
And
if they're
then
doing
when
that
the
same
game
kind of
came
thing.
out, they were super lukewarm on it.
Because that was only on PS4 originally, too, right?
The Destiny beta?
Yeah.
You might be right, Brad.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
alpha and the beta?
Yeah, because they have a...
So they might
got
have
a
looked
Sony
at that.
promotion. Yeah.
Can I add one
Same
other
company.
thing?
Yeah.
Did the Call of Duty mini fridge just come out today?
Yes.
Yes.
So what is that? Because I haven't looked into it yet.
So that's
Chat keeps bringing it up.
the deluxe, most expensive edition of that game comes with a little mini fridge.
Okay.
Chat, I didn't want to bring it up, chat,
For
because
beers
it's
or like Mountain Dew Code Red?
you know what bummed me out? So I go to Game Informer is actually a really great news site. I'll plug them. They're really great. So just click on news and then you get lots of stories.
Your checks in the mail.
But this morning it said, report, Call of Duty Limited Edition comes with a little fridge. And I was like so bummed about like video game news. It's just like waking up this morning like, this is video game news. This is our reports. The Call of Duty games come with a fridge.
How much is it?
I don't know.
Do you
I don't
know?
care.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
look
care.
it up
Don't you
because-
dare look that up.
Did it say
Oh man, I'd love a mini fridge.
But it's like not even a big mini fridge.
You don't want a douche fridge that says cod blops on it, though.
It's a mini fridge.
Mini fridge in my cubicle?
You can
hold
oh,
one
it can
Mountain
hold
Dew.
like a beer.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
One
like,
Mountain
What?
Dew.
Wait, how many is it?
never mind.
Let's see some dimensions on this.
I'm not sure we're
Well,
gonna
if
get
it holds a
dimensions.
beer, it's got to be like that.
Yeah. Bloodworth is doing it properly.
Yeah.
It looks like it's 9 or 10 inches tall. It looks pretty
Whoa.
dinky. But yeah, I mean there it is, everybody. Now we
That's not worth plugging in.
we officially talked about it.
called the Juggernog edition.
Juggernog.
Juggernog?
All right. So how much, Elise? Do you have a price tag on it?
They've got an a New Zealand dollar price of $289.99.
289 New
which
Zealand
converts-
dollars.
Not helping
converts to
us.
approximately 193 US dollars.
Oh, because I don't think it's been officially announced for the U.S. yet. I think that was leaked.
It is a
Actually.
waste of electricity.
Wait, I'm sorry. How much was it?
$200.
Yeah.
200 bucks,
Of around
okay.
200 US
Okay.
dollars.
That's insane.
For a mini fridge, man? Yes, that is insane.
You could get a Gear VR for that.
What is a Gear VR?
It's
You
that
don't know what it is?
stupid-
No.
It's like
Samsung
Oculus, but
Gear
for your
VR.
phone.
Oh,
Apparently,
yeah,
Oculus
yeah.
owns it now, which is
Yeah,
weird.
I don't understand what that relationship is, but I
Yeah.
saw that they're promoting it.
Don't get that. So let's talk about Street Fighter V, another PS4 big exclusive deal. Of course, this game will only be on PC and PS4. So anyway, we talked a lot about like the betas being used for promotional tools. This one seems to me to taste a little more like they actually need to test this game, stress test it, but also like test how the fighting works.
Yeah.
I remember.
This is pretty traditional. I mean, they've done it in arcades for ever pretty much.
Yeah.
They put a limited version out there, but just move on. Let's get into 21st century and have this stuff happen online.
Yeah, and I guess was it Evo that they just dropped the PS4 version from Street Fighter?
Oh well, that was the port, the Street
Right.
Fighter 4 port.
Port of
Yeah,
Street
but
Fighter 4.
I
Right.
feel like they're just like, man, we gotta like test the shit out of our stuff. 'cause
Yeah,
we're getting
absolutely.
Bad
Mhm.
press.
I think it absolutely could have impacted this. But on the other end, it is you can only get in this beta if you pre-order the game, which I never appreciate. So again, it's still like this stupid promotional tool. Anyway, a really interesting thing about it is you can't play it like local. You can't do training mode. You can only like basically queue up to go online and train while you're waiting to match up with the next person. A really cool thing about it is it launches with 4 characters, and then 2 days later, Cammy and Birdie are going to be added to it to test out our new content delivery system. So something that they've been talking about with this game is that it will always only be one disc. Basically, that everything will be added to this disc, and like that weird content delivery system kind of lends to that. Do you think that's true? Do you think there will never be a Super Street Fighter V and an Ultra Street Fighter V? Do we believe them?
I have a hard time believing that.
Why wouldn't you? Exactly.
Yeah.
Every Street Fighter has more
there's
than
like
one
3
version.
versions of every one.
Yeah, well, it's weird because there's not really a reason to have those other versions anymore, other than the retail promotion. So, yeah, it can all be done through patches easily, But I mean, and it could have been last generation as well. They just didn't have their back end built for it.
So do you mean just because we're used to downloading things that are huge files now?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's they could do either one, but there's not really a need to have another disc because you could just basically
download
swap
it
the
now.
whole thing out.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the world we're getting into with video games, right? Is like, video games are always just going to be you buy that game and then it keeps evolving until someone makes the sequel. Like everything's an MMO now, kind of.
Or, I mean, maybe more, it's like League of Legends. It's like, hey,
Yeah,
maybe they might
games
roll
just
out
go
characters
forever.
like that for this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Instead of doing
Minecraft.
huge eight character chunks, they'll just go,
Like,
two-
There's no,
Yeah.
there's no overhead for them to sell extra content digitally, and they can roll these out and mark them up, and then like a year from now they can still do a disc. I think they'll still do a collector's complete edition of all the content they roll out in some new ultra edition or whatever.
I might. So that would hurt it. I think that would hurt them because League of Legends never does that, right? League of Legends doesn't have hey, buy all the characters at once, but doesn't Heroes of the Storm? Can't you
Heroes
buy all
Storm
the
has
characters?
Packs.
Smite, you can buy all
Yeah.
the characters.
Okay, so
You
Smite
spend
you can buy all the
$30.
characters.
The difference to me is if they do an ultra version, it would be the same game, just a package with maybe some purchasable DLC. But the thing they don't want to do is split the player base over several versions because I don't think we're in that world anymore.
No.
Yeah,
Right.
you might be right.
They
Yeah.
want to keep
I
it all
just-
as one thing.
I just think that there are some people that are still diehard fans that will want to own that complete edition that has everything in it. And it may not be a year from now, but I think that they'll still do it.
I wonder if it's a weird thing where that complete edition doesn't exist, right? There might be no point to adding those characters to the disc because we have to do installs on every game we buy now anyway.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that there's a disc of this at all.
Yeah.
I thought it would be digital only.
I hear you, man. Yeah, I mean, we're probably one Street Fighter away from that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're always gonna do discs as long
Yeah.
as disc is viable for the industry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just one of those things where if they wanted to, sure, they could put out a disc that you don't have to download as much, that has a lot more characters on it. But I think that's the main thing, is just that no matter what, like, the core of this game is always going to work. Like, you can buy this disc and it will work for all of Street Fighter V, no matter what they do to it.
You know what? I got to take back what I said. It's worth having them on the disc just because of offline.
Yeah.
If you don't have an internet connection, you want all the characters. You're right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's
It's absolutely worth having
Huge
that.
audience.
Yeah.
Especially since it's a game with local like capabilities too.
Yeah. You're gonna need that.
They're
You're
gonna
gonna
do
need that disc.
both. You're gonna be able to download everything,
Yeah.
but they will also release physical.
For sure. That's what I think. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Has a Street Fighter game ever done paid character DLC before?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have?
Well, actually, no.
Or like
No?
pay $2.99 for Poison.
Yeah, they've never done it individually like that, because for Street Fighter in particular, it'd be Super Ultra and then Arcade Edition 2012 or whatever. And so you never like buying one character at a time.
Right.
Marvel vs. Capcom, you could buy individual characters.
Okay.
Sweet Johnny Cage in our chat, I can't talk today, says that in the beginning of League you could buy a retail version and it came with all the champions at the time.
Wow, cool. But then they stopped that obviously because
It's
it was
like,
a bad
oh,
idea.
way more money.
Yeah.
Like the thing about Smite is you buy all the gods and then get all future gods forever.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's the craziest
move.
deal.
Just
If
for, like,
you
$30.
MOBAs, yeah, $30. You get every god that exists right now and every god forever.
That seems foolish.
It's insane. No,
Yeah.
it's genius.
Why?
Because all the money they make is from,
Skins.
yeah, like.
Oh, okay.
But you can
yeah.
do both. You can do skins and characters.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Right.
Maximize profit.
Oh my God, bro.
No, they're doing fine.
Yeah, Street Fighter will do all the Mortal Kombat classic skins and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, what's funny is in Street Fighter, everyone's already wearing their classic skins.
Yeah.
Ryu never changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should. They should update their costumes. Okay, let's move on to Mad Cats. We got
Said
some
no one
bad news.
ever.
Yay.
Yeah. So Mad
Kyle,
Cats.
are you telling me I have to sell my Mad Cat stock?
You should definitely dump your Mad
Cash
Cat
out.
stock if if it exists.
Damn it.
Basically, oh man. So who reported on this? I think it was Silicon Era. I'm not sure. Game Informer is where I got it though, obviously. So Mad Catz has been losing money since 2011, publicly. And so they've defaulted on some loans with Wells Fargo. They got some new loans for like $30 million, something. Basically, they've said to everyone, stated publicly, hey, things are not going good, but when Rock Band 4 comes out, we're going to sell a lot of instruments, and we're going to be fine.
Do
It
you know?
worked for New Line Cinema.
Yeah.
Wait, what is that reference?
Oh, New Line Cinema was like completely going out of business, and then they were just like, "Sure, Peter Jackson, here's a bunch of money. Here's all our money. Make the Lord of the Rings. What could go wrong? We'll just declare bankruptcy, and it'll be fine." And then the movies were like huge hit, and then they like had a good couple of years, and then they went out of business again.
Oh, man.
To
Wait,
me-
so then who made The Hobbit?
No, it's acquired by Warner.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
They still use that as a label here
yeah,
and there.
but I think the company is in dire straits.
That's
What
very
if they were
funny.
like self-sabotaging and then it
Like the
turned out to be a
producers.
big success? Yeah, the producers,
Yeah,
and it
some
turned out
kind
to
of
be a
weird
big
thing. Yeah,
success.
I mean, I think they were. They were pretty much like, "This will never work. Peter Jackson makes B movies. This is a terrible idea." Sure, and then it was like it worked out.
To
Yeah.
me, like Mad Catz is like Gil from The Simpsons. Like, oh, old Gil, just give him one more try. Like, oh, this is gonna be it for Gil. For old Gil Mad Catz. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, what sucks about Mad Catz is I think they've had a real turnaround the last 8 years. Basically, you know, they've actually said, basically what Sega said at the beginning of this episode, hey, why don't we make good stuff? Why don't we try making quality products? And so they made the fight sticks that were actually good. They like listened to the community. They brought people in to say, oh, this is what will make this good. They bought Rock Band, right? Or at least part of it.
What?
No,
Yeah.
they just bid for the hardware.
You're talking about the
Yeah.
Red Octane thing?
Yeah, I guess I am.
Let's check it
I
out.
don't know.
We'll need some fact checking
Any
on
kind
that.
of story about that.
The funny thing about Mad Catz is like, their name, they had brand recognition like Band-Aid, except like the bad way.
Oh,
where
yeah.
Mad Catz was
Yeah,
like,
Mad
that's
Catz.
a crappy thing.
You don't want
I
that
don't wanna
Mad
use
Catz
that
controller.
controller.
Yeah.
like your friend comes over and you give them the Mad Catz controller and they're like, oh man.
You be a true friend and don't even buy a Mad Catz controller.
Right.
Yeah, because basically, to explain what that is to anyone who wasn't around for the PlayStation 1 era, is that Mad Catz used to make just cheap controllers. And controllers are
Real
expensive, and so if I can save $10 on a controller, I'll just get this one. And they were just the
It's an
stinkiest.
abomination.
Abomination is right. They were like light, crappy plastic.
I used to
Well,
buy
they're like
Mad
squirt
Catz
guns.
memory cards.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
That was like
Okay,
the
yeah.
saving grace.
That's so
Uh-oh.
funny.
And then they like wipe your Tomb Raider save,
Right.
and you're
They
like,
absolutely
oh god.
But no, what's funny is I feel like they were way more common, not just Mad Catz, but any of those third-party controllers. They were way more common back in the day, like on the Super Nintendo,
Yeah,
PlayStation,
Genesis.
all of that. When controllers were actually reasonably priced, you could go out and
That's
get a
true.
controller for
They're like
$15 or
$30,
$20.
yeah.
No way.
Now
Yeah.
they're like 60.
Yeah.
Back then they were like 40, 30 tops.
No, 20 was basically it.
Yeah.
And then I think
But we were all idiot kids.
I think
with no
N64
money.
went up to like 25 or 30.
That is a cheap controller.
Yep.
Dang, that's cheap. Will Rock Band 4 do well enough for like Mad Catz to meet those expectations?
Dude, I am so scared for both of these.
No.
Like,
Me too.
there's like, who is actually like chomping at the bit for this stuff?
I'm really excited for Rock Band 4.
We had so
But
much
enough
fun
to
live
invest
lot
in,
of
like,
fun.
I'm not going to buy peripherals because I still own all the instruments.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just chucked their stuff.
A lot of people chuck their stuff, but like the new stuff isn't even that different. You know, they explain like, yeah, when you go and do Star Power, it's a little easier now and stuff like that. But man,
Like that was hard before.
right. Actually, it did suck
Turning
before.
your body.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in a way Rock Band has the easier job because you can just get stuff at a garage sale
Yeah.
and the drums are easy to fall apart and get missing parts, but Guitar Hero with their whole live thing and having
they're
all new
screwed.
instruments, that's gonna be a tough sell.
Yeah, they're
Right.
screwed.
With Guitar Hero, you can't use your old stuff. However,
Ouch.
the idea that you can use your old stuff, maybe. They still haven't promised which consoles will have backwards compatibility. Mad Catz doesn't make money off you going to garage sale, blood.
Right?
Are they hosed?
Not entirely, I don't think.
know.
I think
But
they're
I don't know.
hosed. I think they're so hosed, and it bums me out so much. Because, like, I want to believe in this company that says, hey, we should make good stuff. I want to believe that works, and it
They
bums
should
me
have
out so
said
much.
that
when it
from
doesn't.
the
Too
beginning.
late.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have made good stuff in the beginning. Why are you sad for some corporation?
Because they
dying?
fixed it. Because they saw their
Did
error.
they?
Yeah, they did.
They should have done what ThinkGeek did instead of ThinkGeek, basically. They should have like branched out into other things.
Yeah. T-shirts.
Sponsorships.
Tchotchkes.
Mugs.
They sponsor
So-
a lot of players. What's up?
If Harmonix sells a lot of copies of Rock Band 4,
Mhm.
but they take a hit in the hardware, does Harmonix suffer or does just Mad Catz suffer?
Shoot. I mean,
I'm curious about that because
Depends on the nature of their partnership.
that'd be brilliant of Harmonix to be like,
Oh, yeah.
you guys take
No
this
risk.
on, yeah, no risk, but maybe they just benefit if Mad Catz does well.
that's probably the agreement they made. Is just like, can you foot this bill? And Mad Catz said, I guess we have to.
Oh yeah,
We're
they
Mad
thought about it.
Catz.
Yeah.
Oh, Mad Catz has got it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they're used to making big plastic things. They can handle it. Oh, I'm so worried.
Mad Catz owned by John Plastic.
Plastic.
We shouldn't do this show live.
You would have said that on
No, no, no.
tape, too.
If you're watching this live, you should know that we cut out like 8 to 10 Elise jokes every episode. So you're catching a lot of things that normally we would trim out of the show.
censor them. We just beep them out.
My mouth just gets blurred.
Yeah.
Do you think Guitar Hero will do well too? Like, what are the chances with these games?
They're screwed. Here's the Guitar Hero guitar, like, looks kind of interesting.
Yeah.
That different way of doing it seems cool, but the game itself, like, that live thing is so douchey and weird.
So to explain the Guitar Hero guitar and how it's actually different is now it has 6 buttons at the top, and
2 rows.
3
Two
black,
rows.
3 white.
3
underneath.
white, 3 black, and so you cannot use your old Guitar Hero guitar with that.
No.
You got to buy a new one. And yeah, I guess the live thing is annoying, but it's like not there for every mode. The mode where you just sit back and basically Pandora it and like, Spotify, you know, you're just looking at music videos, which I think is actually really cool.
Yeah. Actually, I think that's
legit
better
music
than the other.
videos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like DDR.
Wait, the actual music videos?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
That's
yeah.
cool.
November Rain, my friend.
Yeah.
Ew.
What is November Rain?
Ew,
What just
Guns N'
happened?
Roses.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Ian, it's
Ben
basically
loves Guns N' Roses.
I know.
it's basically just a
Ben
bunch of
loves
music
everything.
video channels, and then at any point, if you want to play, you just pick up the guitar.
That's kind of cool.
It is, but even like that cool idea, I don't know if it will sell still.
I
Yeah.
think
I think it'll do better than Rock Band. That sounds more fun to me.
Then hanging out with your friends?
I don't even care about any of these
Well,
games, but I'd rather
Rock
do
Band,
that.
I think they have the show mode where you just, but it's still you have to choose the songs. It's not as passive where you just have the music playing during a party.
Right.
But it's similar, I guess.
well, we used to have a lot of Rock Band parties where like
Okay.
invite friends
Here we go.
over.
Yeah, I'm sure they were cool.
Put
All right,
your
keep
keys
going.
in the
Let
bowl.
the name lock Benson up for the night.
That's one.
Go tell the neighbor that it's a Saturday, we're gonna be making a little bit of noise. Sorry.
Is that real? You would do that?
Yeah, because we had a very, very elderly neighbor
Okay.
that she'd be like, oh, you guys, I have kids that are your age, so I understand.
Aw.
Just be in my neighborhood with the Mexican birthday parties. You don't got to worry about it.
Don't get racist,
Every-
blood.
There's nothing racist about it's my neighborhood. I got
Dude.
Mexicans, I got Guatemalans, I got Hondurans. I mean, just
Dude, like a month ago, the guy beneath me was playing. I tried to figure out exactly what kind of music it was, whether it was like banda or like something, but it was some kind of strange new age Mexican kind of polka thing. But they were playing it crazy loud all
Yeah.
day, like 8 hours. And then the person across in the other building, which is still part of my complex, started playing some kind of Mexican rock and roll.
To
Like
counter
super
it?
loud. to,
Battle
like,
of the
loudness work.
bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to be like, I was like, I can win this. I was gonna like just point my speaker at the floor and play lightning bolt, but then I didn't. I
Should've
just left
played-
and got rage ice cream.
And when you came back, it was all quiet.
Oh no, when I came back, it was still going.
Oh, man.
Play some
It was the
German
worst.
industrial Halloween
Yeah.
rock.
We
Which
interrupted your
house?
stories.
Oh, but yeah. So anyway, people hate when you try to force them to come over to your apartment and play Rock Band with them.
Yeah.
I
hate
long
that.
story
I'm gonna
short,
do the hell out of that.
yeah, Ian will come over, but
no, you're coming to my house. I got a
no,
projector.
your
I got a
audio. Your
projector.
audio is awful. I can't
What?
understand a word anyone
Whoa.
says on True Detective.
Whoa.
There, I said it.
We're gonna buy a new
Oh.
audio system.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
This
Last-
got
I
very
like
personal.
that.
Last night we were talking about buying a new audio system.
Good.
Good.
Because it's weird if it's not linear PCM, the audio doesn't work on some of the things. It's really irritating.
Let me know when you hook
We
it up.
cheaped
and
out.
come
I'll
by.
go buy it tonight
Okay.
if you come over to my house.
Yeah, I will.
So really,
Tonight?
True Dicks.
I can't.
I
Going to
will
the gym
buy
tonight.
it tonight. No, I won't buy it tonight. I'm hosting a thing.
it's
But
hilarious.
realistically speaking, in
What are
real
you
life,
hosting?
board game jury night for Indiecade.
Well, thanks for the invitation.
Okay.
You are invited. You
No,
want to come?
he's a judge. He's a judge.
Can't go into the gym.
for Indiecade.
Anyway.
It's cool.
Juror.
Do you see Rock Band 4? Can you realistically throw a Rock Band 4 party?
Well, having a system where like if people don't want to play, then it can just keep playing music videos, and you can drop in, drop out. Like that's ideal for
Yeah,
most
that's
parties
Guitar
like
Hero,
that. That's
though.
Guitar Hero, yeah.
Right. So you think that you're with Brad? You think that'll do better?
Yeah, but Ian said that he'll come over and play Rock Band 4 with me.
Look,
So
I know our sound system isn't the best, but
Oh,
we got projector.
Brad's miffed.
I feel like I need subtitles.
what is going on?
She needs something.
Anyway,
Brad
I'm
is
sorry, I
completely
derailed
lost.
that.
Let's get back on track.
Ian, it's not horrible.
No, it's not ideal. It's not an ideal sound system. We skimped a little on the sound system.
Well, you spend a lot of money on the projector and the rig.
Yeah.
Because I'm so unhappy with the conversation that Elise and Ian just started, we're going to turn to you. Well, you're the one who started this conversation. This comes from Nicholas. He says, I've been seeing you guys giving a hard time to Nintendo's E3 because most of the games reuse assets from previous installments. And while I agree that the digital event wasn't great, I don't think that was the reason for it. I seem to recall a N64 Zelda that reused a lot of assets and was a great game still. Also, every third version of the Pokemon franchise are exactly this. Fighting games reuse stuff every time too. So my question is, what is the correct way of doing this? Suppose you are a game dev, not only for Nintendo, but for any given platform, and you need to work on a time and budget restricted project. How do you pull off a Majora's Mask and not a Spirit Tracks?
What's wrong with Spirit Tracks?
I love Spirit
I
Tracks.
love Spirit Tracks.
That's mean, Nicholas. But basically the idea is like, what's the right way to reuse assets? What's the right way to make a sequel where the graphics and character models aren't new?
don't call it The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes.
That's a bad one. Yeah, I think that's a bad one. You know why I think that's bad is because it deserts the spirit of like what made that first one good. Majora's Mask is like its own unique game, but it's still a Zelda game.
Yeah. I think Nintendo needs to stop. Like, same with like Metroid. They shouldn't have called it Metroid. I know that's not reused assets, but just call it Federation Force.
Why?
Because then at least we wouldn't be upset that you're trying to masquerade it as a Metroid game.
I don't think they're trying to masquerade that game. I think that's us getting so mad about that.
I guess so.
You know
I
what?
think they thought it was going to be an interesting take on Metroid, and they're all morons.
I want to play Triforce Heroes.
Me
I mean,
too.
because I thought Four Swords Adventures is kind of a hidden gem. A lot of people didn't really get to.
Don't you start with this game.
I think a lot of people didn't really get to play it that well because of the whole Game Boy connectivity to the GameCube.
Bad idea, Nintendo. That's why no one played it.
But it was still really cool. But the thing is that whole weird, like, party game aspect of everyone like just trying to compete and get the most rupees and troll each other and stuff. Whereas this, it actually does feel a little bit more like a Zelda game because it's focused on the cooperation. It's focused on like actually helping each other out.
Right, because the three of you have one life meter. So you all share a life meter in this game, and that's how they tried to reduce trolling.
And unfortunately, I didn't get to check it out at E3, but other people's reactions seem to be, pretty positive on it, actually.
I think it won Best Portable Game at the E3 Awards.
It
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
What were you going to say, Elise?
And I was going to say exactly that. Jeff was posting that it was best portable game, and I was like,
No. How dare you, E3 voters?
So
What
you're
other
not going to
portable
play
games
this?
were there?
So I'm not going to play it. Here's what I'm just. It's like not if you remove Zelda from that game, it's just like a multiplayer dungeon crawler that's just like very frustrating to communicate inside of.
I'm not going to play it with anybody else.
That's not
you're,
true.
So you're going to be linking two dolls.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're playing at the office. Don't you lie.
Yeah, we should play together.
We're playing.
The other one, the Mario and the paper 3D garbage factory.
Paper Jam. This is how I got
I
worked
think that
up.
could be good too.
This is
No,
how I
it's
got
gonna
worked
be
up
fun.
last week.
This is how you don't reuse assets. You don't take nice looking artistic 2D sprite work that actually looks crisp and sharp and put it next to crappy 3D graphics that look like bad claymation. Like, cuz it just calls out how like soft and gross the 3D models look.
They look very weird
They
next
look
to each other.
disgusting next to the nice crisp 2D ones.
You all know how much Paper Jam gets me worked up. We should move off of Paper Jam. Try to answer Nicholas's question, which is how do you do it right? What is the right way to reuse assets? What is the right way to make a sequel? Basically, like Assassin's Creed does this. You know what I mean? They're using the
Yeah.
same engine, not the same assets necessarily, but like
It has to just be a good game, honestly. Like, Majora's Mask gets a pass because it's a great game.
what makes it great?
It's a great Zelda game. It has like a unique mechanic to it, everything like that.
What else?
Well, actually,
Time system, like just like smaller dungeons focus on that. All the masks you collect.
It was made out of defiance.
but I think
Was
Majora's Mask is such a unique thing because what was great about it is they used the tone of that game and the fact that they were reusing those assets to like screw with your expectations.
Yeah.
To like play off of things and make this even feel more like Bizarro World.
Yeah.
Because like you would
form and function, they work together.
Yeah, because you had certain characters that you connected with in Ocarina of Time, and then you have this exact same character model who somebody that was really friendly and nice or somebody that wasn't even anybody, it was just like some girl that took care of chickens, like now they have completely different personalities and it's like really messing with your mind. And then you have stuff like the dirt patches, where you just like plant beans and they're like on the side of a building and you're just like, what? Why is that there? I don't know what's going on anymore.
I gotta disagree with that. None of that messed with my mind when I was playing it when it
Whoa.
first came out.
Okay.
I was like,
Cool,
are you
Brad.
from
All right,
Ocarina of
Hotshot.
Time?
What do you mean? What?
Well, it's like
Shot.
like they do that whole like alternate dimension thing because they are reusing assets.
Yeah.
They try to like explain it in some way, at least kind of ways. But I'm like, you're reused. I remember you. I remember you. I remember you. I remember you. But
That's
it's
so-
still a really fun game.
But that's the thing though, is like some of those main characters, like I didn't remember them, and then you go back into Ocarina of Time and you're like, oh, I didn't even think about that. being a person. I thought it was like a new character.
Sure.
Two things. I think Nintendo just has so much heat on them that we are going to be super critical of whatever they do.
Are you trying to talk about Paper Jam again?
I am not touching Paper Jam. I know the rules, Kyle.
Okay, all right.
I just think that Nintendo, over the last few years with the failure of the Wii U, they've got a lot of heat on them, so we're super critical, which is why that we give other games a pass. And I also wonder if... I have a question. Had they just made Triforce Heroes in that same Link Between Worlds world and not done the 3-player co-op, would you feel differently about it?
So it's still just a dungeon-based game?
Yeah.
Like Zelda with only dungeons?
Yeah, they're like, it's just this, and it's in the same world.
Zelda Dungeon Blast.
Yeah, dude, I don't like Zelda Dungeon Blast. I like Majora's Mask. You know what I mean? Majora's Mask is not just like a 3-player co-op dungeons-only game. You know, it de-emphasizes the dungeons, if anything, in Majora's Mask.
You know what it is, Kyle? It's context.
Yeah.
You like it when the form is the function.
I'm
if
afraid
you're
I love
reusing
context.
stuff, you do it for a reason.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Cuphead?
How do you mean?
Because it's just, I mean, it's the equivalent of like, it's just dungeons, it's just bosses.
Boss rush.
Just boss rush.
I've not played Cuphead.
No context. No context.
Cuphead is full of context.
I think there is context.
There might be
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
sold your
Damn
soul to the
it!
devil
Yeah.
or something. You have to fight these guys. But I
Damn
mean, there's
you,
no
Kyle
overworld. I
Bosman.
mean, there's an overworld, but there's
Yeah.
not like levels.
And you're trying to take their souls back
there
for
are
the
those
devil.
like 2D challenge levels,
Yeah,
but whatever.
Cuphead's got
Well,
plenty of
Nintendo's
context.
making all these games just
Okay.
to fill space, kind of. Like I guarantee you they're working on Metroid. They just cannot talk about it because of NX.
Brad, are you sure you can guarantee that?
Yes,
for
I
us?
guarantee it.
Okay.
I guarantee you they're working on Metroid.
If they're not, they're done. It's over.
How do we hold on? This
Hang up the towel.
We're not having
Throw
the-
in the jacket.
We're not having the conversation that poor Nicholas tried
Yeah.
to start. We're still not talking about like well, we are kind of.
No, we've said how to do it right. Have context. Make the form part of the function. Do it for a reason.
All right, so let's say we got to make
Don't just be cheap.
let's say we got to make a Bloodborne sequel using the assets from Bloodborne.
That's what they're going to
They
be
did
doing.
that. It was called Dark Souls
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
Like, what's the right way to do it? Like, what makes those right? What makes those the right way to do it?
At some point, you actually go back to Lordran, and then everyone's like, "Whoa!" But it's like 600 years later, and you're like, "Wow!"
So again, some sort of self-awareness that you are reusing assets is what
Yeah.
you mean?
Yeah.
I
do
mean-
it for a reason.
Do it for a reason. Yeah, I guess right. The important things are to honor what made that original game good. I think that's an important part of like reusing assets, and then also to do new stuff.
I think the difference is we haven't played this game
Yeah,
yet.
what if Paper
it
Jam
could,
does
it could do these games could be exceptional and do all these things. Maybe we're too quick to judge.
Stir it up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of does come back to the context thing because, again, it's almost like Four Swords. As much as it's a fun game to play, it shouldn't have a story. It shouldn't have an explanation as to why there are multiple links because it just feels so silly.
that body.
Oh man, it makes me so mad, Blood, because the timeline mostly makes sense. It would have made more sense if they didn't try to pull those things into it.
I think it actually would, as we were going back to the conversation last week about like why there are no female characters or whatever, which, you know, and in a way it's like them all being Link. Kind of, in a one way it kind of justifies it, but in another way it kind of makes it even more silly because like if you just had multiple characters that weren't Link, then would you have as much of a problem with it?
Also, it's called Triforce Heroes, like plural heroes. So their argument that it's all, or like the thing that it's all just one hero, Link, and the fact that in defending the fact that there are no women there, said, well, this is a story about heroes. So
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
Is that what they did?
they
Right.
literally.
Yeah,
said-
I don't want to go back to that whole conversation because we talked about it twice.
But it's silly.
Nicholas didn't start that conversation.
No. But it's silly.
Yeah, well, I mean, Link's a recognizable character, and that's what they're doing there. It's just like, hey, let's show them 3 Links, and people will just buy this game because they're a bunch of numbskulls. At least if that game is good, I will eat my hat. Not literally, but like, oh man, I can't imagine that game.
Herzog ate a shoe.
What's up?
Nothing. This is boring. Move on.
Okay, you're right. We're so mean to Nintendo. People don't like it when we're mean to Nintendo. It's just like being mean to the kid in class who's already having a hard time. So let's talk about bets. Time for bets.
That game will be good.
No, it won't.
These
that's
graphics
insane.
are on point. You make those?
Except for they're way
No.
late because of this weird mouse and bad laptop.
fans did.
These are all fan
Our talented
generated.
fans.
Man, they're great.
Yeah, I can't develop them.
You
something like that.
generate the news stories.
I do the news
ones.
stories.
Yeah.
I do the
these
slides.
the good ones are
The
made
good
by
ones
the
are made
fans.
by like dedicated fans who are talented. Rory McIlroy PGA Tour is releasing next week. Here's what I'm gonna do.
Thank God.
I'm gonna go to GameRankings.com. I'm going to look at the top 5 PS4 and the top 5 Xbox One reviews. I'm gonna read through all those reviews. How many times will I find the words Tiger Woods together? Both Tiger and Woods have to appear next to each other.
Can I just say this guy is definitely not a household name yet?
Rory McIlroy?
Yeah.
Not yet.
He's as close as it gets, bud.
I guess so. But
No,
I mean, like
Tiger Woods is close. What are you talking about?
everybody knew who Tiger Woods was
household names
before Tiger
are
Woods
as
had a
close as
game.
it get because they're household names.
So I'd say it's probably Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Rory McIlroy. I bet he's like number 3.
Bill Murray.
He might even be a no. it's not-
Macklemore.
God.
Macklemore.
Frank Sinatra.
I
Frank
think
Costanza.
I think there are more people in this world who know who Rory McIlroy is than Macklemore. I bet he's
That's
got more
probably
recognition
true.
than that.
That's probably true.
In this world, on this globe, I'm going to say. Anyway, how many times will we see Tiger Woods together? Brad, I think you're first to reveal this week.
9 Tiger Woods.
Okay. Blood, how many Tiger Woods?
I'm gonna go with 12.
Nice. Multiple mentions.
Cinco.
Elise is mad. You're not feeling good about that.
Nah, I was low.
I'm going with 10 Tiger Woodses. Okay, let me lock those in. Okay.
Nice.
Well,
got
you're
one.
just gonna sit there. I don't know when you're
I
gonna.
was waiting for the sound to start. Oh,
well,
my
no,
gosh.
then you gotta do it.
We're doing it live now, everybody. We're doing it live. It's not as simple as
Oh, boy.
before.
Should we
Brutal.
try it again?
Kyle's
Do
just
you
gonna have to
actu-
start practicing.
Okay, so we'll try it again. I'm going to unlock the bets. This is unprecedented. Okay, all right. I'm going
All
to
right.
lock it in again. Okay, ready?
All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
You start and then I'll go.
Okay,
Better.
that was better.
Hold
We'll
on
take
It's a
it.
second.
little
How did you
shorter than
unlock
you
that?
think it is.
This?
Yeah.
What?
He's
The
got a
vault is-
bicycle.
The vault is very
The
complex.
vault is
Do
very
not
complex.
question the unlock, Brad.
So let's talk about last week's bet. Rocket League came out this week on PS4 and PC. Before the show, we're going to try to get into a match online. How many seconds will it take from initiation of a search to the start of a match? Brad, you did the research here. What happened this morning in
Oh my
our
gosh.
trials?
We got 0. The servers were down for the game.
So what happened is, as the bet states, you tried to get into a match.
Yep. Multiple attempts.
How many seconds did it take from initiation to the start of a match, Brad?
Was
There's
none.
nothing to
There was
gauge.
0.
Zero.
Infinity.
No access.
Yeah, I'm going to say that we're still counting.
The count is still going.
Yeah. So here's what happened. Brandon Jones bet 13. I bet 48. Huber in the super seat bet 37. Almost had it. Bloodworth bet a pathetic 8 seconds.
Yeah, but
so
this
that
is-
means
this-
that I win the bet.
I still don't buy this. You wait until the servers are in maintenance to do the test.
No.
Yeah,
'cause
wait.
here-
Did you guys play this in a stream the other day?
We played it single player. We played it.
Right, but they took the servers down for maintenance this morning.
I mean, as
Right. So you had the opportunity to do this bet correctly back when you were playing it.
Correct.
here's what it says. Before the show, we're going to try to get into a match online. I think that even that language has the opportunity for the servers not to be working. We're going to try to get into a match.
Well, here's the question: did anyone play online ever?
That's a good question
Yeah.
for chat. What does
Like,
chat say?
I'm
No,
pretty sure
I
they
mean
have.
Yes.
of
people have
us.
Of us? No.
So no one has played online.
Right.
In the,
Yeah, I got it
Yeah.
installed last night, but I didn't actually play it.
So
yet.
then I guess just because we're idiots, yeah, it's still trying to get online.
It's still
Still going.
We're gonna have thousands of seconds.
Bend it to his will.
Oh gosh.
Oh my
Believe
gosh.
me, I would love to make this so that Bosman didn't win, but I don't know. It's infinity seconds right
It's
now.
infinity seconds. We tried it. We initiated the bet.
What's
Yeah.
chat saying?
They are.
Straw poll.
Kyle
they're,
wins.
No, there's a lot of smug Kyle.
Yeah. Absolutely, I'll be
Each
smug
one
about
of those
this
is
one.
a vote for Kyle.
And so the current score is Super Seat 9, Bloodworth 10, Jones 3, Bossman now has 6.
Uh-oh.
Creeping
I guess
up.
if Super Seat didn't get it, it doesn't really make a difference.
As long as Jones is
damage
losing.
control.
Yeah.
Damage control.
Damage control must be nice.
So because I won the bet, I get to promote any video I like on our website and also close out the show. I'm going to promote, I don't know if I've ever done this, The Final Bossman is a show that I host on GameTrailers.com.
Boo.
Whoa, okay.
What?
We've also never booed someone's video before. This week I did an episode about Kickstarter for Red Ash, which is the spiritual successor to Mega Man Legends 3. Love the Legends series, wanted this thing to succeed big time, and it's not. And so I try to pick
not
apart
done yet.
what's going wrong with that Kickstarter.
Did it just go up, or has it been?
This episode, yeah, it went up
No,
yesterday.
I don't mean the
Kickstarter.
I mean the Kickstarter.
Kickstarter
itself.
went up over the weekend. It'll probably get to 800,000. It'll probably match what it's going for, but it won't hit its stretch goals, and its stretch goals are the complete game, and that's really what the episode's about, is digging into that stuff. It really bums me out. We're just trying to finish an incomplete game, basically. Trying to fund an incomplete game, so that, it's never fun. I swear the episode's fun, though. It's a total
Yeah,
blast.
don't give away the episode.
Ian,
It's pretty funny episode.
yeah. It's a fun episode.
It's pretty good.
If you've never
The
seen the
ending
show
is
before,
good. I
it's
like the
It's
ending.
a fun show. It's got a good ending.
It's got a good ending.
Everybody, let's do Twitter names. Brad is Bradley Ellis and a number.
87.
Bradley Ellis 87, D Bloodworth 2, at Elise Willems, at Kyle Bossman, at Ian Hink.
Classy.
What was classy?
We're just our names.
Oh yeah, doing the full name.
Classy.
Yeah, if you're at home, if you don't have a Twitter account yet, consider doing your full name.
Sorry, Brad and Blood. I didn't mean to throw
It's
you
too
under
many.
the bus.
Too many Bradley
Yeah,
Ellises?
it's too
I
many.
suppose.
Yeah. You got to do the Bradley Ellis.
Yeah,
Mine
too
is
late.
not gonna be too long.
I don't care.
Yeah. You're right. D Bloodworth 2 it's nice. Everybody knows D Bloodworth 2.
Yeah.
Uh,
Legend.
Everyone, thank you so much for watching live. If you're watching live, thank you so much for listening to the podcast later. If you're doing that or watching the podcast later, thank you for giving us your time. We greatly appreciate it. And always remember that tomorrow is forever all ours. What? I never coughed. The whole episode, I never coughed once.
I love.